is divided in 6 sections. So, in section 1, verse 1 to 2, there is explanation of Kansa's death and Krishna's education. And section 2, from verse 3 to 9, uh, Krishna's divine marriages and protection of the devotees. And section 3, verse number 10 to 13, is talking about removing demons, and Lord gives glories to his devotees. And section 4 explains from verse 14 to 19 the Lord's plan. And section 5 from verse 20 to 23, Krishna as a perfect householder. And section 3 from verse 24 to 28, curse of the Yaduj. So, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, there are 3 places of Krishna's pastimes. One is Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. So, in previous chapter, Pradeep Prabhu explained nicely the pastimes inside the Vrindavan. So, in this chapter, Uddhav ji describing the pastimes outside the Brajbhumi. So, verse number 1, I'll recite this verse first. So, Uddhav Uvacha tatat sa agatya puram sapitro chikirshya sambaladeva sayutaha nipatya tunga dripu yutha natham atham vyarshad vyashum Vashyam so Ospiyam. Shyadva said, thereafter Lord Krishna went to Mathura city with Sri Baldev, and to please their parents, they dragged Kamsa, the leader of public enemies, down from his throne and killed him, pulling him along the ground with great strength. So what happened after leaving Vrindavan? Krishna and Balaram went to Mathura. They killed the cruel king Kamsa, who had imprisoned Vasudev and Devaki, and had killed many innocent children. Srila Prabhupada explains that Krishna did not simply kill Kamsa. After killing him, he dragged Kamsa's dead body on the ground to ensure his parents that the dangerous demon was truly dead. So in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, Krishna said that Paritranayam sadhunam vinasaya chaduskatam dharm sanstapnarthaya sambhamami yuge yuge. So to deliver the demons, destroy the miscreants.
Continue.
Although the Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev and Devaki were overwhelmed with parental affection. So that's why they are afraid. And Srila Prabhupada explains that when Krishna attacked Kamsa, his parents became afraid, and Kamsa would kill their sons. They temporarily forget that Krishna is God. This is called Vatsal Ras, or parental love. In verse 2, Krishna accepts a spiritual master. So although Krishna knows everything, he went to the ashram of Sandipni Muni. He learned all the Vedas simply by hearing them once. And as a Guru Dachina, he brought back his Guru's dead son from Yamlok. So when Vasudev and Devaki heard that Krishna brought back the son of Sandipni Muni from the Yamlok, then he also desired to all the son to be back. But Krishna did not do, because Krishna do this special favor for his teacher only, not for their parents. So there is one very important lesson. Srila Prabhupada explained that Krishna did not need a teacher. He accepts one only to teach humanity that spiritual knowledge must always to be received through Guru Parampara. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.34, Tad Vidhi Pradipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadechanti Te Jnanam Jnanina Tattva Darshana. So Krishna himself followed this principle. If the Supreme Lord accepted a spiritual master, then ordinary people certainly require one. And one more lesson that Guru Seva is essential. Krishna did not simply study under Sandipani Muni, he offered Guru Dakshina by fulfilling his Guru's desire. Srila Prabhupada explains that Lord never forgets even a small service rendered to him. Similarly, a disciple should never think that learning alone is enough. Service to the spiritual master is also essential. Verse 3, Krishna marries Rukmini. So, Srila Prabhupada explains the purport that Rukmini is an expansion of goddess Lakshmi, the internal consort of Lord Krishna. Although Rukmini wanted Shishpal to marry her, Rukmini herself completely surrendered to Krishna. Because she surrendered Krishna, Krishna personally came and protect her. This teaches that Lord never neglect a surrendered devotees. Rukmini depends only on Krishna. She did not ask anyone else for protection. Therefore, Krishna personally came to rescue her as Garuda carried away nectar. And in verse 4, a marriage with Nagnijiti. Lord Krishna subdued the 7 powerful bulls and won Princess Nagnijiti. Later, he defeated all the kings who attacked him. So only Krishna.
She's okay.
Only Krishna could control the 7 wild bulls. No ordinary king had the power. This shows that nothing is impossible for the Supreme Lord. In verse 5, bringing the Parijat tree. To please Satyabhama, Krishna brought the heavenly Parijat tree. Indra became angry and fought with him. He brought the tree only because he wanted to reciprocate with the devotee's love. Indra forgot that everything belongs to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matta bhajante mam buddha bhav samanvita. So if everything comes from Krishna, then even the Parijat tree also belongs to him. Indra forgot this truth. In Govardhan Leela, also Indra became proud and tried to punish Vrindavan. Krishna lifted Govardhan hill and defeated Indra's false pride. So one important lesson from this, never become proud because everything belongs to Krishna. In verse 6, Narkasur's death. Lord Krishna killed Narkasur and later returned the kingdom of his son after his mother prayed. After his mother, Dhatri prayed. So Narkasur was born in a noble family. Still, he became a demon because of bad association with Banasur. So Prabhupada ji explains that birth does not make one great. Association determines our character. Narkasur associated with demon. And also there is one example in Srimad Bhagavatam that Ajamil became degraded because of bad association with a prostitute. Later he was saved by the chanting of the holy name. Verse 7, Krishna saves the princess. There in the house of the demon, all the princes kidnapped by Narkasur at once became alert upon seeing the Lord, the friend of the distressed. They looked upon him with eagerness, joy, and shyness, and offered to be his wives. So no king would marry them after they had been kidnapped. Only Krishna accepted them. Thus he restored their dignity and protected them. In Bhagavad Gita 4.8, Paritranayam sadhunam, I appear to protect my devotee. And there is one example in Srimad Bhagavatam also that Gajendra prayed to Krishna while caught by the crocodile. The Lord immediately came to save him. Like Gajendra, the princes were also helpless and saved by the Krishna. In verse 8, Krishna expands himself. All those princes were locked in different apartments, and the Lord simultaneously assumed different bodily expansions exactly matching each and every princess. He accepted their hands in perfect rituals by his eternal potency. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead can expand himself in unlimited identical forms. Every form is complete. Every queen thought Krishna was only with her. In Brahm Samhita 5.33, Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam Adhyam Puran Purusham Nav Yauvanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. So, as Krishna was present with 16,108 wives. So, as recently we have heard in Chetan Charitamrita also, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expand himself in 7 form in the Kirtan party. So, Krishna is unlimited. No living being can imitate him. In verse 9, Krishna's son, just to expand himself according to the transcendental feature, the Lord begot in each and every one of them of 10 offsprings with exactly his own qualities. Now, section 3 from verse 10, the Lord gives glory to his devotees. So in verse 10, Kalyavan, the king of Magad, and Salva attacked the city of Mathura. But when the city was encircled by their soldiers, the Lord refrained from killing them personally, just to show the power of his own men. So, so after Kamsa was killed, many powerful kings attacked Mathura, among them Kalyavan, Jarasan, and Salva. Instead of personally killing everyone, Krishna allow Muchkunda, Bhima, and other devotees to destroy many of these enemies. People thought why Krishna is not fighting. Actually, Krishna was giving glory to his devotees, and that's why he is called Ranchod. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna never runs away out of fear. He withdrew from Mathura because he had already planned how his devotees would become famous. So Krishna was doing everything behind the scene. He simply allowed his devotee to receive the credit. So Krishna likes to glorify his devotees, the Lord in all powerful. He can do everything himself, yet he gives his devotees an opportunity to serve him and become glorious to his mercy. In Bhagavad Gita 11.33, Krishna says, Nimit Matra Bhava Sabbe Sachin. Krishna had already decided who would die, but he told Arjuna, you become the instrument. Bhagavad Gita 3.27, Prakate Kriyamanani Gune Karmani Sarvasa Ahankar Vimulatma Karta Hamhiti Manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the 3 modes of material nature. So we should not think that we are the doer. Actually, Krishna is the doer. Sometimes devotees think that I am significant. Krishna does not think like that. He gives every devotee an opportunity to serve him, even cleaning the temple, cooking prasad, distributing books, or chanting sincerely can become glorious when done for Krishna. The credit belongs to Krishna, but he lovingly shares it with his devotee. Verse 11 and 12, Lord Krishna eliminates powerful demons and evil kings either personally or through his devotees. And verse 12, uh, through the battle of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna arranged the destruction of mighty kings on both sides to fulfill the divine plan of reducing the earth's burden. Verse 13, Lord punishes without hatred. Duryodhana was bereft of his fortune, and the duration of life became the duration of life because of his intricacy of ill advice given by Karna, Dusasana, and Subala. When he lay on the ground with his followers, his thighs broken, although he was powerful, the Lord was not happy to see the scene. So here Krishna advised Bhima to strike Duryodhana below the best because Duryodhana had acted unjustly throughout his life. Justice has to be established, yet when Duryodhana finally fell, Krishna did not become happy. Why? Because every living being is originally his eternal part and parcel. Mabhay Vanso Jeev Loke Jeeva Bhuta Sanatana. And there is the reason why Duryodhana causes fall because he constantly listened to Karna, Dusasana, and Sakni. Means he was in the bad association. Now, section 4 from 14 to 19, the Lord's plan. So, in this section, Srila Prabhupada explained why Krishna decided to bind up his earthly pastimes, the real meaning of the earth burden, the disappearance of Yaduj. So, verse 14, the real burden of the earth. In this purpose, 14 verse purpose, Srila Prabhupada explained, uh, this is the first important point. The earth is not overburdened because of population. Many modern thinkers claim wars happen because there are too many people. Srila Prabhupada rejects this idea. He explained the earth carries enormous mountains, vast oceans, countless animals, birds, fish, insects, trees, and billions of living beings. Human beings are only a small fraction of all living beings, approx 5%. So population itself is never the problem. Bhagavad Gita 3.14 अन्नाद भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्याद अन्न संभवा यज्ञाद भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञ कर्म समुद्भवा. All living bodies substitute on the food grains which are production from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. So if society performs its duties and living accordingly to the God's laws, nature simply supplying everything. Therefore, the real cause of scarcity is irreligion, not population. The earth becomes burden because of dharma glani, decline of religion principles. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्तदात्मानं सृजामहे परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. So whenever there is decline of religion and increase of religion, I appear. I protect my devotees, destroy the miscreants, and reestablish religion. Another point Prabhupada explains: the material world is not a prison built out of hatred. It is a reform school. Krishna gives every soul another opportunity to return home, back to Godhead. Even inside material world, Krishna accompanies every living being. He patiently guides us back toward him. This shows his companion. The Idus were not ordinary people. Most of were demigods, eternal associates, expansion connected with the Lord. Therefore, they could not become the burden in the ordinary sense. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains two kinds of burden of beast and burden of love. So burden of beast, a heavy stone carried on the head, it causes pain. And burden of love, a mother carrying her child, the child has weight, yet the mother feels joy, or the wife leaning on her husband, or the businessman happily carrying valuable wealth. Those are also burdens, but they gives happiness. The Yadus were the burden of love. The earth was joyful because they lived here. When Krishna spoke about their burden, he meant their coming separation from the earth, not that they were sinful. Verse 15. When they quarrel among themselves, influenced by intoxication, when their eyes red like copper because of drinking madhu, they only will they disappear. Otherwise, it will not be possible on my disappearance. This incident will take place. So Srila Prabhupada explained in his purport, the Lord and his associates appear and disappear by the will of the Lord. The Idus are not ordinary conditioned souls. They were never under the control of material nature. In Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Mayadichin Prakati Suyate Sacharacharam Hetu Nanin Kwanteya Jagadve Parivartate. The material nature works under my direction and produces all moving and non-moving beings. So material nature could not destroy the Idus independently. Only when Krishna desired it did their earthly pastimes come to an end. The intoxication was not ordinary drunkenness, it was created by Krishna's own will. Without his desire, they would never have quarreled. And why did Krishna arrange this? Because his associates also had to return to the spiritual world. Since no one could kill them, Krishna arranged an apparent fight among themselves externally. It looks like a quarrel internally. It was the Lord's divine arrangement. Verse 16, the Lord Krishna established Maharaj Yudhishthir as the ideal king to take righteous administration. So one more reason how Yadu are burden of love by Krishna planning to eliminate before he leave. So where is the need? Because they are very powerful people. They are very powerful people, and they will not follow anyone else. And Krishna appointed Yudhishthir as a king, and Yaduj will not accept the order of Maharaj Yudhishthir. So there will be clash. So to avoid this clash before Krishna departed, he ensured that Yaduj were destroyed so that they could not pose any challenge to Maharaj Yudhishthir. So, so, uh, so till what extent Krishna think about his devotees? Verse 17, Lord Krishna protects his devotees and proves that the soul is different from the body. After battle of Kurukshetra, almost all the warriors had died. Only the unborn child remained in the uh, dynasty of Pandavas. Parikshit Maharaj, Ashwatthama, filled with anger and revenge, released the Brahmas to kill the unborn child. So if Parikshit Maharaj died, the Pandavas dynasty would end. Therefore, Lord Krishna personally entered in the form of Putra and protect the child. So in this purpose, Srila Prabhupada explained the embryo was burnt, but the living soul was not destroyed. Why? Because the body and the soul are completely different. The body is temporary and the soul is eternal. Even if the body is destroyed, the soul continues to exist. In Bhagavad Gita 2.20, na jayate mrite va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita na bhuya ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanumane sarire. Verse 18, Lord Krishna inspired Maharaj Yudhishthira to perform three ultimate sacrifice following Krishna's instructions. Yudhishthira Maharaj ruled the earth with the help of his younger brothers and protect all the citizens. This verse describes Maharaj Yudhishthira as an ideal king. His greatness was not due to power of wealth, but because of he was Krishnam Anubrata, a constant follower of Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explained that the entire world belongs to the Supreme Lord. A king is not the owner of the kingdom. He is the Lord's representative. Therefore, the duty of ruler is to govern according to God's instructions and protect the citizens. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. Because Yudhishthir Maharaj ruled under Krishna's guidance, both the people and nature were peaceful and prosperous. This is the ideal example of God-centered leadership. In Bhagavad Gita 3.21, yad yad acharit shrestha tattat devataro jana sa yat pramanam kurute lokam tastanuvartate. Whatever a great person does, ordinary people follow. Whatever stands he sets, the whole world follows. Maharaj Yudhishthira set the perfect example of God-conscious ruler. By following Krishna, he inspired his citizens to live according to Dharma. Verse 19, although Lord Krishna is the super soul of entire universe, he lived in Dwarka like an ideal king. He followed the Vedic principles of society, enjoyed family life, yet remained completely detached and always situated in perfect spiritual knowledge. So this verse teaches that Lord Krishna is the perfect example of ideal householder. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he follows the Vedic rules and social customs. By doing, he taught everyone that spiritual life does not mean giving up all responsibilities. Rather, one should perform one's duties according to Dharma while remaining detached from material enjoyment. Srila Prabhupada explained the real human life is not simply eating, sleeping, meeting, and defending. These activities are common to animals. Human life is meant for self-realization, understanding that we are eternal souls and developing our relationship with Krishna. Lord Krishna enjoyed family life in Dwarka, but he was never attached. His activities were performed through his internal spiritual energy, Yogmaya, not under the influence of material nature. Thus, he demonstrated how the living responsibility while remaining spiritually fixed. In Bhagavad Gita 9.9, na cha mam tani karmani nivdhanti dhananjaya udasin avadasinam asaktam tesu karmshu. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Section 5 from verse 20 to 23. In verse number 20, Krishna's beauty, smile, and personality are completely spiritual. Lord Krishna appeared with his beautiful transcendental body, which is eternal residence of Goddess Lakshmi. His gentle smile, loving glance, nectarian birds, and spotless characters enchanted everyone. So here Srila Prabhupada explains there are two energies of the Lord. One is external energy, apara prakriti, and another is internal energy, para prakriti. And external energy, this is material nature. Everything here change. Our body, our wealth, our relationship, our happiness, and all are temporary. And while eternal energy, Parashakti, this is Krishna's internal spiritual energy. Everything there is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. Krishna always lives in his internal energy. Therefore, his smile, his beauty, his body, his love, his speech, all are eternal. Bhagavad Gita 7.5 अप्रेयम इतस्त्वम अन्यम प्रकृतिम विद्धि में पराम जीव भूत महाभाव येदम धारते जगत. Prabhupada explained that Krishna never enjoys the inferior energy. He always enjoys internal spiritual energy. ब्रह्म संहिता 5.37 आनंद चिन्मय रसा प्रतिभा प्रतिभाभिताभिस तिर्भया एव निजरूपतया कलाभि गोलोक एव निवसत्यात्म सत्यखिलात्म भूतो गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. I worship Govinda who eternally resides in Golok and surrounded by his eternal associates who are expansions of his own blissful spiritual potency. So Krishna's relationships are not material, they are made of Ananda and Chinmaya, bliss and pure spiritual consciousness. Verse 21, Krishna's relationship are spiritual. So in this verse, Srila Prabhupada explained that people often misunderstand Krishna's 16,000 queens. They compare him to an ordinary man. Prabhupada said this is ignorance. Because all these queens, they are Krishna's own internal potency. And Srila Prabhupada gives example of the moon, Krishna to the moon, and queens are like stars. The stars beautify the moon, but the moon remains one. Similarly, all queens exist only to increase Krishna's pleasure. Bhagavad Gita 9.11 Avjananti mam mooda manusim tanumashritam param bhavam ajanto mam bhuta maheswaram. Fools think that I am ordinary human being because I appear in a human form. So exactly people think Krishna married like ordinary man, but his marriages are divine. Verse number 22. Why did Krishna show detachment? Although Krishna lived many years as a householder, he later fully exhibited detachment to teach humanity that one should not remain attached to a family life forever. Krishna suddenly became detached. He was always detached. The word samjayata means he fully manifested his detachment. So one important lesson from this verse, Krishna accepted household life only to teach ideal family life. Then he also demonstrated renunciation. Bhagavad Gita 3.21 यद्यद् आचरति श्रेष्ठा तत्तत् देवतरो जना सा यत् प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकतस्तनु वर्तते. Verse 23 Only devotees can understand Krishna. Every conditioned soul is controlled by the material nature. Therefore, only one who practices devotional service can understand Krishna's transcendental activities. In the purpose, Srila Prabhupada explained, everyone in this world is controlled by Devi Maya. We cannot even control our own senses. How then can we judge the unlimited Lord? Krishna's senses are different. Our eyes can only see, our ears can only hear, our tongue can only taste. But Krishna's senses are absolute. Every sense can perform the work of every other senses. In Brahm Samhita 5.32, Angani yas sakalendriya vrittimanti pasyanti panti kalyanti chiram jaganti ananda चिन्मया सदुज्जल विग्रहस्य गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. In section 6, 24 to 28, uh, in this verse, in this section, Srila Prabhupada concludes this chapter and explains about the Vaishnava Aparadh and difference between the pure and mixed devotee, the purpose of pilgrimage, Varnashram, Dharma, and Prasad, and the perfection of human life. So, verse 24, the curse on the Eduj was the Lord's arrangement. So, the in this purpose, Srila Prabhupada explained uh, the Eduj princes committed an offense. The sages become angry and then they were cursed. But Srila Prabhupada said that this is only an external view. The Eduj were not ordinary conditioned souls. They were associates of Krishna. Likewise, the sages were pure devotees who would not ordinarily become angry on childish behavior. The curse was part of Krishna's plan to conclude his earthly pastimes. Still, the pastime teaches one important lesson: never disrespect a devotee. Even if Even if the curse was divinely arrangement, the Lord used to instruct future generation about the seriousness of the Vaishnava Aparadh. Verse 25 to 26, pilgrimage and the difference between pure and mixed devotees. So, Srila Prabhupada explains the devotees about the different categories of the devotees. There is Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha. Nitya Siddha are the those who eternally liberated and associates of Krishna. They never fall under material illusion. And sadhana siddha souls who became perfect by practicing devotional service. And further, Srila Prabhupada explained that sadhana siddhas are mixed devotee and pure devotee. Pure devotees are completely absorbed in serving Krishna. For them, serving Krishna is greater than visiting the holy places. Narottam Das Thakur also teaches that simply wandering to holy places without developing devotion to another distraction of the mind. A holy places a holy place becomes meaningful when one performs bhakti there. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is example of Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj engages all his senses in Krishna's service because of his constant devotion to the Lord, and Lord personally protected him from Durvasa Muni. So the important lesson to continuous serving to Krishna is the highest pilgrimage. Verse 27, the real meaning of Varnashrama. The Yaduj gave gold, silver clothing, horses, elephants, land, cows, and other valuable gifts to qualified Brahmanas. Verse 28, the perfection of human civilization. In this purpose, Srila Prabhupada explained that there are three principles are essential. First is protect cows. Second, maintain genuine Brahminical culture. And third, become a pure devotee of the Lord. Without devotion, even material advancement cannot bring perfection. He also explains that food should first be offered to Vishnu, and being offered and after being offered, it becomes prasad, the Lord's mercy. This verse explains why the Yadus first offered food to the Lord before distributing it, because in Bhagavad Gita 3.13 Krishna says, "Yaksishtasena santo mujyante sarvkil vise bhujyante te togam papam e panchatyat karanat." So the practical application of section 6: never commit Vaishnav aparadh. Holy places become meaningful when visited with devotion. Spiritual qualification depends on character and service, not birth. Offer all food to Krishna before eating. And last is the perfection of society is based on God consciousness, not material prosperity. And the conclusion of the entire chapter is uh, every activity of Lord Sri Krishna, whether studying with his Guru, protecting devotees, ruling a kingdom, living as a householder, or concluding his earthly pastimes, is an expression of his super compassion and a practical lesson for humanity. Serving Krishna with devotion, one gradually realizes the Lord's transcendental nature and progress toward pure love of God. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा पुरुषोत्तम। अच्छा प्रयास है, लेकिन इसमें एक और इंटेलिजेंस ज्यादा दिख रही है मुझे। चलो पहले समीक्षा कर लेते हैं, फिर चर्चा करूंगा। प्रियंका, प्लीज डू द रिव्यू।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे
Hare Krishna Purusottam Prabhuji. Thank you for your presentation. And you explain and emphasize verse to verse and whatever discussed in our class, you spoke and told. And you mentioned many references verses also. Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. And whatever you told and presented, it very easily understandable for me. And some points of like discussion, like 13 verses, verse number 13 and verse number 14. Some information you did not mention, like why Yudhishthir called Duryodhan to Suyodhan. Or 14, its purport mentioned that about the real miscreants. Who are the real miscreants in the earth? And Prabhuji told that who violates the instruction or the desire of the Krishna, they are the real miscreants. Yes, Prabhuji.
If you have any question,
No,
you can ask
Prabhuji.
questions from me. You can ask questions, clarifications.
Prabhuji, till now I have no question.
No others also. Whoever has any question or any clarification or something which he has not covered or something which he spoke out of context.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी आपने ये वर्ष नंबर 14 में बताया कि जो प्रभुपाद लिखे हैं वार्डन ऑफ बीस्ट एंड वार्डन ऑफ लव डिस्कशन हुआ था, इसके बारे में थोड़ा बताएंगे दोबारा। वार्डन ऑफ बीस्ट क्या है, वार्डन ऑफ लव क्या है, और यदोष इन दोनों में किस कैटेगरी में आते हैं क्या?
इसको बर्डन ऑफ बीस्ट प्रो, उसका एग्जाम्पल मैंने यहाँ पे कोट नहीं किया. इट्स लाइक आस इज कैरिंग द लोड, एंड एंड बर्डन ऑफ लव का एग्जाम्पल को इसमें दिया गया लाइक एक मदर के लिए उसका उसका जो सन या डॉटर हैवी वेट का स्टिल सी फील जॉय टू कैरिंग 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 देम.
दोनों में एसेंशियल डिफरेंस क्या है?
तो बर्डन ऑफ बीस्ट एंड बर्डन ऑफ लव ये यूज हुआ है यदूज के लिए. सो एक्चुअली यदूज बर्डन ऑफ लव बिकॉज जैसे श्लोक में बोला गया था कि कृष्णा वांट टू रिमूव दिस अर्थ's burden, but yadus were not the burden of the earth, because they are this was the Lord's divine plan. So, and they are parts of the Krishna's only.
You can give any example of burden of beast apart from ass.
Burden of beast, like Prabhu, all the asuras are the burden of beast, because
Very good. Very good. Very good. I have understood. You have understood the concept. Good. ठीक है, बोलो. एक्सप्लेन, बाकी में एक्सप्लेन करो. Okay. Anyone has any other question? Quickly, it is getting late. It's crossed 9:30. Okay. तो थैंक यू पुरुषोत्तम. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी. आपने सारे सारे वर्सेस कवर किए, पढ़ा. लेकिन मुझे दिख रहा है आपने एआई बहुत यूज किया है. यूज किया है, नहीं किया है? सच बोलना.
प्रभु मैंने AI यूज किया है और हिंदी में
वो मुझे दिख
ट्रांसलेट.
गया, क्योंकि आपने रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं सुनी है.
तो सुना है, रिकॉर्डिंग हमने लग 3 टाइम्स सुना.
3 टाइम्स नहीं, लेकिन एआई का प्रोमिनेंस ज्यादा है. क्योंकि आपने बहुत कुछ ऐसा बोला जो मैंने नहीं बोला था, वो मैं पकड़ रहा था. मत करो, परंपरा से बाहर हो जाओगे. वैसी परंपरा में आना बहुत मुश्किल है नहीं परंपरा में. एआई मत यूज करो प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए. एआई हम यूज कर रहे हैं पब्लिक के लिए, ठीक है. अपने कल्टीवेशन में अगर एआई यूज करेंगे तब तो मर जाएंगे. वैसे ही इंटेलिजेंस नहीं है, और स्पिरिचुअल इंटेलिजेंस चाहिए. क्योंकि आपने बहुत सारे रेफरेंस इधर उधर से निकाले, कई तो उसमें फिट भी नहीं हो रहे थे. लेकिन चलो, अच्छा है, उत्साह है आपके अंदर. लेकिन वो सब एआई है. प्रकृति क्रिया महानानी श्लोक कहाँ फिट होता है यार उसमें? कहाँ से उत्साह भी? बदल एक्सप्लेन करो. चलो, कोई बात नहीं. आपने भगवत गीता वर्सेस कोट किए, लेकिन एक दो पॉइंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट थे वो नहीं कोट किया, विशेष रूप से जो ट्रैवल का था। इसमें मैं देख रहा था प्रभुपाद जी लिखते हैं कि जो एक मैच्योर डिवोटी है वो अपनी सेवा छोड़ के कभी भी पिलग्रिमेज के लिए नहीं भागता। वो बोला था आपने?
नहीं बोला था।
वो है, देखो मैं दिखाता हूँ। This is in the 26th verse. Prabhupada saying, pure devotees of the Lord are not enthusiastic to push aside their service to the Lord in order to go visit holy places of pilgrimage. To visit holy places of pilgrimage is another bewilderment of the mind, because devotional service to the Lord at any place is the last word in spiritual perfection. तो उसके बाद प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं, फॉर प्योर डिवोटीज ऑफ द लॉर्ड, सुनो, शुड आई शो इट? दिखाओ, ये पटपुट दिखाओ। 26 को मैंने शेयर कर दिया है, सुनो। This is all the yadus, divisions, mainly Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha. The Nitya Siddha devotees never fall down to the region of material atmosphere, even though they sometimes come into the material plane to execute the mission of the Lord. These are all acharyas. They come down to the material world to preach. The sadhana devotees are chosen from the conditioned souls. Out of sadhana devotees, there are mixed and pure devotees. The mixed devotees are sometimes enthusiastic about fruitive activities and are habituated to philosophical speculation. तो दोनों हो गया, हाँ, fruitive activity भी हो गया और philosophical speculation भी हो गया. The pure devotees are free from all these mixtures and are completely absorbed in the service of the Lord, regardless of how and where they are situated. Pure devotees of the Lord are not enthusiastic to put aside their service to the Lord in order to go visit holy places of pilgrimage. A great devotee of the Lord in modern times, Purusottam Das Thakur, has sung like this: to visit holy places of pilgrimage is another bewilderment of the mind, because devotional service to the Lord at any place is the last word. Abhi suno. For pure devotees of the Lord, they are completely satisfied with the transcendental loving service of the Lord. There is hardly any necessity to visit the various places of pilgrimage. But those who are not so advanced have the prescribed duties of visiting pilgrimage sites and regularly performing the rituals. This is how Prabhupada is so merciful and practical. The part of the princely order of the Yadu dynasty who went to the Prabhas performed all duties to be done in the place of pilgrimage and offered their pious actions to their forefathers and others. समझ में आया नहीं? समझ में आया? दूसरी बात दो बार पढ़ना. Prabhupada is saying, but those who are not so advanced have the prescribed duties of visiting pilgrimage sites and regularly performing their rituals. Okay, this is a very important aspect. In my Bhakti Vaibhav, I was presenting, and one devotee asked me this question, that the pure devotee does not need to visit anywhere. So why we go? But I had read the purport very thoroughly. So I asked him that, are you going to Mayapur or not? He said yes. Then I asked him why. If you are following the pure tradition, the footsteps of why you yourself are going. And but then I replied from Srila Prabhupada's purport. आपने ये वाला पाठ शायद नहीं किया ना पुरुषोत्तम?
किया
ये
था
नहीं
थोड़ा
डिस्कस किया था।
थोड़ा किया था, नरोत्तम दास का जो कोट है वो कोट किया था।
तो तुम बस अब नहीं, लेकिन जो जिस कंटेक्स्ट में ये डिस्कशन है एक्चुअली, कि वो प्रभास क्यों गए, प्रश्न ये था कि वो प्रभास क्यों गए। ओके, लेकिन मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है सबको, एआई मत करिए, मत करिए, नहीं तो आपका जो एक्चुअल स्पिरिचुअल इंटेलिजेंस है वो एक्टिवेट ही नहीं होगा, वो कवर्ड ही रह जाएगा। ठीक है, लेकिन तब भी आई एम हैप्पी पुरुषोत्तम, आपने प्रयास किया। मुझे पता था आप आईटी वाले हैं ना, आपको तो टेम्पटेशन हैवी होगा यूज करने का। अभी नेक्स्ट किसका है? मानिए नहीं माता जी का, वो तो पता नहीं कहाँ है, बिजी है कौन से ध्यान में। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट किसका है माननी के बाद? अरे बोलो, आवाज आ रही है नहीं आ रही है?
प्रभु जी
हरे
दर्शन
कृष्णा।
जी।
है प्रभु जी, ठीक है।
क्यों भैया, तुमको आवाज? हाँ, किसका है? रविंद्र, किसका है प्रेजेंटेशन?
प्रभु जी, दयाशील प्रभु जी।
वो तो कभी हाँ बोलेगा नहीं ना, वो कभी प्रिपेयर तो करता ही नहीं है। कल देनी है आपको, हो गया 2 महीना हो गया, कल दीजिएगा आप, क्योंकि उसके बाद फिर सैटरडे आ जाएगा, फिर संडे आ जाएगा, होगा ही नहीं। ठीक है दयाशील, आप कल दीजिए।
सुन नहीं पा रहा प्रभु जी, कल कल देना है।
यस, कल यानी फ्राइडे।
ठीक है प्रभु जी, ठीक है।
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच। रविंद्र, मैं अभी आपको कॉल कर रहा हूँ। हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमद् भागवतम की